How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Can you introduce yourself? What's your name? What's your brand?
I'm Gregor. I'm 18 years old and I run My Liquid Studio.
So can you tell me about how you started your brand? What was the motive behind My Liquid Studio?
Yeah, so I started when quarantine first happened. So I never actually really wanted to start a clothing brand when I was younger. I went to an art school called OSHA for film and acting. And I met like a bunch of my friends there who were super artistic, and I've always been really interested in fashion and art ever since I was like, I could remember. And I went to this private elementary school when I was younger, and I had an art class and an art teacher. So she was like a really big inspiration for me when I was younger, because it kind of like got me into this like artistic, they helped me kind of like generate the artistic side within me, you know, so it's like, she kind of like allowed for that to open up, and then we started, I just started like doing my own designs, and on my free time I started designing and doing like little drawings and stuff like that, and over time, when quarantine was like, it was right before quarantine happened, I made like, I actually made a bunch of gray shirts and white shirts, and I did digital printing because I had no idea what screen printing was at the time. So I started off with doing like 5 different designs, and I made like 10 of each and all different sizes. And basically, when I went to school, that was the day that we realized like it was going to shut down. So I had like around 80 shirts, and I just gave them away to. I sold a couple, and I gave like 40 away to like just friends, like people who I knew would rock with like what I'm trying to create, like my vision, stuff like that. So that's kind of how it started off.
So talking about how you initially weren't planning on doing a clothing brand.
Yeah.
Can you give a little insight to people about your perspective in LA culture when it comes to this combination of fashion, music, photography, acting? Like, how do you like being in LA, and how do you like the culture of all these things coming together?
Yeah. Well, I love LA in general. I think it's like the connection central. Like, if you want to run a clothing brand, you want to do music, you want to produce music, anything around that like artistic field, like LA's the place. But I do think it gets like really saturated, and I think right now like there's a lot of people trying to start brands and trying to do different things, which is exactly because like everyone had like a break to just. It was like for me, like I was going to school. I was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was in school till 4:50. When I was from 6 o'clock to 4:50, basically I was there all day, and it was so repetitive. And I just like I got caught up in this cycle where I just had like it just felt the same. And then when quarantine hit, like I was like, hey, this is my time to do something different, you know. So that was like the main like starting point. But I think a lot of people are just like what Hal was saying, is like super oversaturated. Like it's crazy to see all the different like art that people are putting out there, and it's honestly like for me like sometimes I get really overwhelmed because like there's some of the coolest, like people make the coolest clothing. Like there's some like unheard of artists that just you look at it and like you're like, why does this person have like more following? So it's like it's crazy seeing all these different creations, like kind of like creating the culture of like clothing and music. And I think everything is like music and art and clothing are all like combined into like one thing. It's all surrounded by each other.
And that's like one of the issues with like the oversaturation.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have this internal question, like, is this cool, or do I want to like it, or should I actually like this design? And
yeah.
All kind of just kind of together.
Yeah, no, for real.
Going further to that, so not having necessarily a clothing brand background, who are your influences with what you do? Are they in the clothing industry, or are they in other industries?
Well, a lot of when I was like my fashion influences, like I feel like I started to pick up my style right when I started, like it was like 8th grade, 9th grade-ish, and I was introduced to this store called Blends at the lab, and they had like Brenda there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenda's insane. Like that was like I was buying like literally solely Brenda, and just like I just loved it so much. Like what it like the designs just had so much design on the t-shirt. It was more of like a movement and like I really like resonated with it. So that was like one of my early influences. I would say around music, I was always super like a lot of my friends make music or like punk bands. And my friend Nolan makes like indie music, kind of like hyper pop kind of stuff. So yeah, it's on the rise though. But I'm meeting a lot of like cool individuals who are like making music, and I find myself like listening to music when I do designs to like help me get a flow, like confidence flow. Like whenever I'm doing music or I'm working on Photoshop or Illustrator, like I just feel this, like I turn on the app like a design playlist and just go, and it just gets me flowing.
So can you talk a little bit about the idea behind My Liquid when you came up with the name?
Yeah, so it all kind of started with my mom and me. Like, so she has this website development company, and it just wasn't her thing. And she's like, she started getting into like, have you heard of like sound bowls? And so she's like she teaches like sound healing. She's a sound healer. Yeah, so she does like breathwork classes, and basically she was creating this like community of people who kept coming to her classes. And originally, like I was helping her. She was like, "Hey, can you help me find like a name for a meditation studio?" And she like put that out. She was like, "Hey, help me out. Like, let's find some names together." And then I ended up coming up with Mind Liquid, and it's cool. I love that name so much. Like and this is after I took that Photoshop and Illustrator course, and I was like trying to think of like a name, a cool like a catchy name that just like also resembled like me and like what I want to like purvey like like through my clothing and stuff like that. So yeah, no, like so it's like, but it's cool because and my mom's super happy that like I ran off the idea, because Mind Liquid is like in the future, like for Mind Liquid, I would love to have like I would love to be like almost like a wellness type like sector, like a wellness type section. I would love for my mom to be a part of it in the future and have like a meditation studio called Mind Liquid where she could have have posts for sale, and also like do classes about like expanding your mind and like opening up to like all the opportunities that we're getting.
So you definitely want to work in a different community.
Yeah.
I see that right now. You talk about the dream paradise.
Yeah.
Kind of where that went for you.
Yeah. So I always wanted to make like that. I feel like every brand when they're beginning to pop off has that one piece that kind of shows like who they are. Like this is like the future. This is like the quality that I'm gonna put out. So I wanted to make a hoodie like that, and it was like, so I have like a guy basically falling in the universe, and like the whole idea behind him, surrounded by that, is like it is more of like a personal thing. Like I feel so like wrapped up in all this bullshit, like constantly, that just doesn't even matter. It's like I'm always running around. It's so hard to find like just a time to just be by myself and just like settle down. So it's like the idea behind this is like a person falling into like society and like just like all like the distractions and like different things that like like just turn the wrong way with it. So and I have like there's like music box covers and autographs and all. But it's kind of like a design to like convey like who am I, like this is me. So and they went crazy, like that was like the first cut and sew piece I've ever done, and I just wanted to get a design that would pop, and I wanted to do like a jumbo screen print, open pocket, have some embroidery on it as well right here. But I have so much stuff coming like it's fully cut and sewn with the manufacturer I'm working with. Son, he's the most incredible guy. Like he's the most incredible person. Like I feel like everyone talks about finding like they have like such trouble finding like that manufacturer. The perfect. I never thought like the perfect manufacturer like existed until I met Son. It's like I'll tell you, when we talk about the pop-up shop, he helped me out so fast, like just make that happen. But really cool.
And then going along the way too, from your first designs, digital print, that's what you mentioned
Yeah.
One of your best pieces being full screen printed.
In the pocket too.
On the pocket.
Yeah.
Just, it's like cool to see that progression.
Yeah.
So then going from one of your best-selling pieces over to the collaboration with the same.
Yeah.
You want to talk about how you guys met, how that whole situation played out?
Yeah. Daniel, he owns Get Some Sleep. He's like my big brother now, but shout out Daniel, love you if you're watching this. But okay, so when I was first starting, when I was finding like a manufacturer that like make some samples for me and stuff like that, I ended up meeting this guy in Orange. His name was George, and he owns Black Widow print studio. And I went into him and we started talking. I was there for about a week, like every day. I actually started interning for him too. I did like a little internship because I was so interested, like in learning like everything I could about how to do this myself. Like,
and he was a manufacturer?
Yeah, he was a manufacturer. Like, he was a local screen printer at the time. Now he's doing big things. He's doing really well now. He's in Vegas, but I don't really work with him a lot anymore. But we're still really good friends. But I met Daniel at the shop one day, and I knew his brand. Like I always like mess with it. But he popped in one day, and I started talking with him, and it was like click right there. And I felt like I knew this person. Like it was the coolest experience like that's ever happened. Like meeting someone, it was just like this is like so meant to be. Like so, like I'm in the perfect place. Like I'm in the perfect like headspace. Like I just wanted to be friends with him. I didn't even work with him. I was just so interested in who he was and like I wanted to meet more people who own brands, and I was just like getting into that field. But
so the collab was gonna happen.
the cloud was from the first second, like it we tell you that there was about like 4 months after that where we just like were hanging out, we were talking. Like he has like a storefront that's like a home in Venice, so I was always over there taking it. And then we were like, hey, let's make a collab piece and let's do it, like let's get it done. So and at this point like we were really good friends. So we were on Discord like every night for about a week, just like we had so many different ideas for like what we could do like for this collab. And basically what it came down to is like we came up with a mind that never sleeps. And the whole idea around that is like it was like we both related to like what we're experiencing, what we've been experiencing for the past like 2 years and a half, and we combined it into the collab. So it's like we both found ourselves up at night on Discord talking like 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to find out like, oh, what's this like piece that's gonna like what's that piece that's just gonna like show people like, hey, this is different, like this is new. So we decided to do like a knit sweater because I've always wanted to do one.
Yeah.
He hasn't done. Yeah. So that was like the first knit piece I've ever made as well as for him. And we made 100. We just pre-made like a really small drop, and we got them shipped in, and we put up on the website, and we put like 50 on mine, 50 on his, and they sold out in like 2 or 3 seconds. It was so crazy. Yeah, it was instant, but that was awesome. I don't even have one of the sweaters anymore. It's so sad. I was at the Tracy Minaj show like 2 weeks ago, and I know if you've heard of him, his name's Raven. But I have his number, so I hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be at the show. We're gonna be there. Like, let's look up. And we did, and I gave him some clothing, and he was like, hey, Tracy, fuck with that sweater so hard. I was like, bro, I don't have one. He was like, let me just come back. Like, so I went back and like, he was like, bro, like I swear, like he would wear this all the time. And I took it off and I looked back, and I was like, you know, fuck it, like I really love Tracy, like I love the music he makes, and, like his vision, like the person, like who he is as a person, is so real to me. And, like a lot of these like young rappers, like I think who are coming up right now, just like are so themselves, and I feel like people are so attracted to the music, because they like are putting out like who they are, and that's what's so attractive, you know. So, but yeah, that was cool. I got it. Yeah, I just went over like Trippy Red and Kristen the other day too. Yeah. And I got them some clothing for this tour as well.
That's really good.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
So I know that you recently had your pop-up back in May.
Yeah.
How was the success of that? How was that received by a lot of people?
It was great. I was at the marketplace, and like it was like this. They cleared out this like it was right next to the 24 hours, like the old Sky Mart. And they made it this like really big like just room. So we were like, okay, let's do it. We'll do it there. And we got a live screen printer there with like this local guy in Anaheim that prints your stuff like on fly related. And he came through. It was setting up that pop. That was such a like. It was like we were speed running that thing. Like we were.
Like, did it like the speed running machine?
Yeah, it was crazy, and like what was even crazier is like people who were running like the venue or whatever. Like we were chilling. We set up our whole pop shop. Like it looked so fucking perfect, and then this woman and like so this guy that was running it, and this woman who was also like running it. Like they were teaming up together. We just heard them like screaming at each other like outside, and like I was like, oh shit, like what's happening? So it's like basically 30 minutes, like, and they came inside too, just like literally like they were about to start like throwing like straight up, and like apparently like they were like family members, so like they like and they didn't know that like bro, it was straight up like a family feud at this pop shop like before it happened. And they were like, hey guys, like you have to take everything back in your U-Haul, and we have to set it up like the morning of, like they were like set up the morning. I don't know, because there was some like there was something with the insurance about keeping like all our product there. It was crazy, but like we had like at 12 o'clock they like somehow managed to like get the insurance figured out. So we kept our shit there overnight. We still were waiting on like 100 buddies like in our manufacturing in Pakistan to do. And they came like I think like 30 minutes before. Like they like the boxes like pulled up to my house.
So you brought them
right to the thing, pulled up, and it happened perfect. There was like it was crazy. There was like a line like surrounding like the 24-hour fitness for months. Like I did not. Me and Daniel both like we were like, oh, there's actually a bunch of people. Like we're expecting like a small turnout, you know, like popped off. Like it was crazy. So we both really did well that day. Like it was awesome meeting so many people. My favorite part was like meeting like all the supporters. Like it was crazy seeing like the amount of like, love.
Especially like the hometown.
Yeah, it was so.
It's different doing something like Colorado.
Yeah, like literally made me want to like cry, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I felt so like fulfilled. Like it was such a fulfilling feeling. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So now let's get some sleep. Can you talk a little bit about like what we look for in a collaboration partner and like you're drawn to, you know, in the future?
Yeah. Well, some brands like list off right away are for sure Brandon. Like I would love to do a collaboration with them. I think dude, for real. Like I was even like on my way to the interview. Like I was like thinking of like collaboration things that like I can do if that happens in the future, which it will. Manifest, you know. But I love Basket Case Gallery too. Zach is doing some incredible stuff. He's one of my favorite. Like that brand alone is like one of my favorite brands right now in general. And also Bad Son. Have you heard of Bad Son? Their shit's going crazy. It's like fully cut in stone, so different. Like I've never seen anything like it, but they're going crazy. So, but like, what am I looking for? Like a partner to like work with?
What is like attractive about working with a brand or a person? Like, what world?
Yeah, well, I really like going out of the box, so I don't like doing like simple collaborations or just like a design. Like we have a different design. Like a lot of people hit me up. They're like, hey, like I have this concept that's like make this like let's have this graphic designer and do something for us. But to me, like a collaboration is more from like the heart. Like I want to like know that person and like all the people I've ever worked with. Like I'm planning on working with in the future. Like we've been talking for like over a year, and like we've been working stuff out, like making sure everything's perfect. Like for me, I want to put a lot of thought into like pieces before I like put it out. So that's like my goal for it. But just people who are like awake and like they don't give a shit like what other people think about them. You know, like that's attractive to me. Like people who are like creating the trends. You know. Yeah, for real.
So going all the way back to one of your first pieces you designed was swim trunks for spring summer.
Yeah, so the swim trunks this was a really new piece, but the design, like So like 3 of the own designs for that I made myself, and then I worked with my friend Justin Yu, I have 2 friends, Justin and him, and I went to school with them. And they were the most insane, talented like artists I've ever seen. They're both in New York right now, going to school for art. But I ended up making that first design in math class with Justin. And
So on like the back.
yeah, like it was literally on the back of the binder. Like I made that design and with him, and like I gave him like this concept of like, let's just like mess around and see if we can do something cool. And like it was almost like a Picasso, like Key Collaborators style type thing, but it had like, it was just really, like when I looked at it, like I was like, like that's perfect. So
It's like, it's pretty symmetrical, like a little like abstract. And
yeah, I really like like shapes and like abstract type of work. Big inspiration for me, but that was really cool. The shirt, the bathing suits turned out so cool. Like,
yeah, it's definitely usually not a piece that you see like people open.
yeah.
It's really, it's something very, a long ride really like isn't
Yeah,
really cool with it.
yeah, I'm going so into accessories right now.
Yeah. So recently you've been doing a lot of one-on-ones under 10 great works. Can you talk a little bit about how those are going for you and what you want to do more one-on-one in the future?
Yeah, so I was always big into 13 when I was younger, so I always went out and just grab like like cool, like kind of like Ralph Lauren. There was always so much like Ralph Lauren pants and like, yeah, every thrift store. So I was picking up some like blue jeans and like pants like that. And even like my dad's wear pants. It's so funny, my dad's so old fashioned. He doesn't think people like spend like thousands of dollars on like clothing.
Yeah.
Shit like that's like coming in, like showing like, oh, people really do that shit. It like blows his mind. But so basically I got a bunch of like thrifted clothing pieces, and I screen printed like originally like my logo all across the pants and like some different designs that like I had like I drew out and like put them into, burned it into a screen. So I did like these 101s at my house, and I did like 7 of them, and I ended up like coming into contact with Corey actually through Basket Case. I found him like because he did a 101 with him, and I was like, oh, this is crazy, like this kid is insane, like barely has like a following too. So like I hit him up and I was like, hey man, like we should work together, and he was super down. So I sent him like a bunch of like the 101 stuff that I made, and I was like, I gave him complete like freedom, and I was like, just whatever your heart, like whatever you're feeling, like draw, and like just do it, and like I fuck with whatever you like want, that type of thing. So and I gave him like a concept too, but like I was just like, yeah, but like, it was really cool. Like Corey is so incredibly talented. He painted these pieces and he sent them to me, and I was in shock. Like I've never seen something so incredible.
What was the medium?
Wait, what's up?
Like what kind of art?
Like with paint, I think he used it's whatever. I don't know exactly what paint. Like it was. Yeah, it was some like oil. It was like you could wash it. Like I could wash these pieces and it would not like they won't like come off or anything like that. But I don't sell them or anything like that. It's more for like gallery pieces in the future. Like if I ever do like a gallery when I have them hanging out, then I wear them too.
Yeah.
I wore it to like the pop-up shop where people were like offering me like, yeah, can I grab that? Like I've seen that on Instagram, but like it's all personal.
So then going to like the pants, is there any in the future we want to do any other sort of one-on-ones? Like,
Yeah, I've done one. I did a one-on-one sweater as well. I did a crew neck with crazy it was Felix the cat. And did some crazy like things with it. But that was really cool. But yeah, I actually have like a collaboration like that I'm doing for in the future. So it's gonna be like a limited. I think probably like 200 pieces because I've given up for everything. Like how much it is, you know? Yeah, for real. They'll go fast. Like those 100 pieces will fly. Yeah. So basically, I think I'm gonna make some jeans with them, some denim, and we have like some designs that like he's painted and it's turned into like these Photoshop files. So I've been playing around with some like what would look good, but basically I'm gonna have them manufactured in Pakistan, and then once they get to me, I'm gonna ship them to Corey, and then for all the pieces he's gonna do like something different, make him all of the 200 ones. same like design, but completely different. Yeah, so that's something that's like collaboration that's going to come up in the future, probably around like October, November.
And then do you also want to kind of go out and maybe do some home goods?
Yeah, 100%. Supreme was such a big inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, like see, like they made like axes and like all this crazy stuff. Like, yeah, for real, they did. And it's like, I think it's like young designers, like everyone's just like taking inspiration from everyone, which is so fucking beautiful to me. It's because everyone is like working with each other essentially. Like everyone's doing their own thing, but it's like it's a community, it's a full. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess looking into the next couple weeks, couple months, even years, like what are we gonna see from our community?
So for the next couple, well, until December, I have 8 collections made.
Wow.
And like I have all the designs ready. I'm just trying to like get all the samples on time. But I have 2 collections with this artist that I've been working with named Griffin. He's like one of my best friends, and we've been FaceTiming for like about a year now, like a full year, just like designing almost every single night, trying to get some new stuff out. So this new collection it's like I'm bringing Mind Liquid into a whole new like style. So everything in the past that I've created is like its own thing, I feel like. And, like the future, dude, it's like, it's so fucking, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for people to see like what Mind Liquid is turning into and like how it's like, what it's developing. But I'm so excited for people to see those collections because there's gonna be like some pillows in there, making more rugs, leather bags, yeah, straight up.
So then, I guess to end it, like who do you think we should invite to this chair next? Like you've been here, we've had some amazing designs here.
Yeah, for sure.
Who do you think is permanent?
Get some sleep for sure. He's like one of my biggest inspirations as like a human being, like in general. Like everything he's ever put out he's made. Like he designs everything. Like which is so cool to me. It's like that's how I'm more minded because I like to like change it up a little bit, but he's doing some absolutely incredible stuff. Like he made these like celestial hoodies. They're like these crazy cuts. So like I've never seen anyone do it. It's like 2 types of fabric on this hoodie. But yeah, for sure get some sleep. Definitely get a basket case gathered on here. Zach's going crazy. Yeah, true. But yeah, but all like the homies, there's so many cool like artists like coming up right now. So.
There's definitely an abundance together. I'm happy you can make it in today. Thanks for coming in for the interview. Check it out on Liquid. New collection soon.
Dropping September 24th.
September 24th. Put in your calendar.